Hi everyone and welcome to episode 4 of the Wool Revolution podcast. It's Wednesday afternoon. I just finished work. I'm working from home today and I'm sitting at my usual spot, but I have all my plants that I've kept on the balcony for the summer time. I've put them now in my living room for the winter. So I'm surrounded by plants on this side of me. Hopefully you can see like something green popping up in the corner. Maybe it will, I don't know. Yeah, I'm super tired today, so I'm gonna warn you right now in the beginning. But I really wanted to record this week and I won't have time until maybe Sunday, and I don't want to record on Sunday because I want to spend my day doing something else, like being outdoors maybe. So it's today. Today's the day. So hopefully my partner won't come home for at least an hour or so. So I will have time alone to show you all of the things I have to show you today. Yeah, so I've just had a few bites of candy just to stay awake. I'm already feeling like I'm gonna have a hard time with words today, but I'll do my best. I thought we'd first, or maybe I should talk about what I'm wearing today. So this sweater I made using following the improv tutorial. I've talked about it probably in a couple of previous episodes. It's basically a tutorial on how to knit a sweater that fits you and do all the calculations on your own. For a basic raglan sweater or a cardigan, you can do whatever really. And this is actually quite fun because I made this as a knit along with my mom, who I know is watching, and we bought the yarn before going on a skiing trip, or like on the way up to where we were going. We bought yarn and then we spent the evenings on that trip like doing all the measurements and calculations and like deciding on what to make and sort of helping each other knit a sweater. So I made this sweater and she made a cardigan. Yeah, that was a lot of fun and something I definitely want to do again. So it's really a basic sweater. You can probably tell it's made of a mohair yarn. I think Filcolana Tilia is what I used. I can't remember the color. And I held it together with probably some other Filcolana, maybe like Arwetta Classic. I think that's like the standard 2 yarns to hold together for this kind of sweater. And yeah, as you can see, I have some. So I started from the top, raglan increases. I did short rows as well, I think, or like I knit back and forth until I eventually join in the round when I have more fabric in the back than in the front. Some raglan short rows, and I decided to do, you can see here, a quite minimalistic type of decrease. I remember I did some research, but I can't remember what this one is called, unfortunately. But I tried a few different ones, and I wanted the one that was less least visible. And you can see the detail here on the collar. It's folded double as well, and I have the same details on the sleeve and on the hem here. And I'm not sure if I probably googled this as well. It's basically 2 cables, or like faux cables. I don't think these are like real cables. You use some kind of slip stitch technique for this, and they go sort of the opposite ways, or like facing each other. Yeah, so I'm quite pleased with it. It's like a couple of years old now, and I've used it. Not a lot, but I have used it. And I know this is a problem with all mohair yarns, that you can see that it's been worn. Now this isn't too bad. Maybe you can't even see it. It's hard to tell what's pilling and what's, or like shedding, and what's just like the natural fluff of the yarn. But I don't know, I'm not sure if I'm a fan of these mohair yarns, to be honest. I mean, it's really, really soft, and it looks great and very neat and like fancy. Compared to like real woolly rustic yarns. But like I said, I don't know, for me it feels very important that the fabric really holds up for a long time, and I'm not sure if this will. But it's not bad. I mean, I like it, and I like the sweater. I wore it yesterday actually to work, so next up, I have finished two accessories, and I talked about them both in the last episode, so I'm quite happy that they are finished. The first one is my neck warmer. Look. Oh, it looks great. Obviously, I've blocked it. And on the other side, so it's the same on the back as the front. I mean, it doesn't really have a back and a front because they're the same. And here you can see this. So I've talked about this. I started from the top, twisted rib here for the neck, and then I put half the stitches on a scrap yarn, and the other half I started knitting back and forth. And on every other row I decreased here, and I increased here, and the same on this side, increased for the stockinette part and decreased for the rib part, so that you can see gradually they sort of switch places here until it's all stockinette basically. And I didn't follow a pattern, but there has been a pattern for this design, so I'm gonna link it here anyway, but it's not available anymore. So I just looked at the picture and sort of tried to mimic it as best I could. But it's a really nice design. I mean, it's so pretty. And I mentioned in the last episode that I only had one skein of yarn, and I'm gonna show you. Actually, I need to go get it. So this is what I have left after finishing. So it's not much. I'm happy because I wanted to squeeze as much yarn as possible out of it. So I was supposed to weigh the yarn and see, so I actually used half of it for the front and half of it for the back, but I was too lazy. I'm rambling over because if you watched the previous episode, you already know about this, but in case there's someone new watching. I was too lazy, so I just started with one side and trusted my intuition to know when to stop so I could have enough yarn left for the other side. And my intuition was so-so. It was okay, but not great. So I had to I knit the back, and then I continued with the front a little bit, and then the back a little bit, and then I couldn't be bothered anymore. And I also forgot to have some kind of ribbed edge. So on the real design, it's supposed to be longer, the rib edge, but I had already cut the yarn, so I just ripped back a few, like 3 or 4 rows, and put in this little ribbing, which I think looks nice like this. And I washed it, and I'm very, very happy. But the thing is, it's super soft. I've talked about the yarn before, and after washing, I'm not sure it got softer, quite the opposite actually. And when I wear it around my neck, so I'm gonna wear it like, I can actually put it on for you. So I suppose I'm gonna wear it sort of like this. And it's quite, like I can feel it on my neck. It's a little bit scratchy, which I wasn't expecting because the yarn was so soft. But maybe, I mean, my guess is that it'll soften up with wear, especially because I'm gonna wear this like when I'm being active, like skiing or ice skating or whatever. So maybe with sweat and everything it will get softer. Or I can just wear something, like I have my base layers for winter. I have one sweater that goes up, it has a bit of a turtleneck, so if I'm wearing that one I won't feel this scratching as much. But it looks good, huh? And here's, yeah, it goes down here on the back. So I was worried that it wasn't gonna be long enough, but it definitely is. This length is perfect. Yes. All right. Wool on wool. That's a pretty serious combination when you're sitting inside an apartment. So the next finished accessory is my mitts, or my fingerless mitts. And wait, I blocked them in a weird way. I'm just gonna, so let's have a bit of a close-up. So these are the cloudberry, they're just called cloudberry. I've done a few modifications. The thing is, the pattern, I got a question about this in the last episode. The pattern calls for a thicker yarn than what I used. I used Rauma Finull, and that's like a fingering weight yarn, and the pattern calls for, I think, almost worsted weight yarn, which is thicker. But I pretty much used the same amount of stitches. I think maybe a bit, like a few stitches less, but not that much, because I wanted them to be really snug. I can try them on. And I think that was a good call. I mean, I think they are quite perfect. So this is how they fit. And as for the colors, I didn't talk about this in the last episode, but I got a request from my mom. I told her you need to write in the comment section below if you have questions or input on my videos, but she calls me instead and talks about them. So, but she wanted to know how I picked the colors for it, and basically I knew I wanted to use these 3 colors because they are stunning and very like autumnal. They go really well together, but I tried a few different options when it comes to which color to put where. So I think I started with the green for the cuff, and then I had sort of the other 2 colors as background, or no, I don't know, the green for the cuff, and then the beige and the green for the stripy parts, and then the orange as like the accent, like the color for these crosses. But I didn't really like that, and I think I tried some, I don't know if I tried the orange color for the cuff. But yeah, in any way, how I picked the colors, I try them in different ways. The only thing I'm not, I mean, something that I always find quite tricky is, you can see like for my wrist here, it's quite loose, but it's very snug up here, or not very snug, but, and I don't like that, because I don't want to feel like they are, I mean, because I don't want to have wind coming in here, and I don't know, it doesn't feel very comfortable when there's a gap somewhere it's not supposed to be. So, I mean, I guess I could just like decrease, or I started these from here, so I guess I could start with fewer stitches and then just increase. And then, of course, when you have these kind of fingerless mitts where you don't do any increases for the thumb, so you don't have a separate thumb section, you just basically you knit in a bit of yarn, like a scrap yarn for, I think I did it for 7 stitches on this one, and then you just pick up around it and start knitting this little thumb hole. You won't get the best fit because your hand doesn't look like this, you know. But yeah, I'm really happy with them in any case. What else? I don't know if I have anything more to say. Oh, I have one thing to say, because I made a big mistake when knitting these, and I can't believe I did that. So I first knit one of them completely, so I did the thumb hole and everything. Started the other one, knit, and when I was so close to the finish, I just finished the final rib and I did the thumb in one knitting, and then I looked at them and they were the same, like they were knitted for the same hand. So both were left-handed or right hand, I don't remember, but they were the same. And I've heard other people do that mistake, and for like mittens and stuff, and I've always thought, how is that possible? Like, can't you see that they look the same while you're knitting the thumb? Like, at some point you just must have reacted. But obviously it happened to me now, and so I can't really say anything to anyone else who has been through this, because I know how it feels, and it is possible, obviously, although I can't understand how it could happen to me. Next up, I'm gonna talk about my never-ending saddle shoulder project. I have some difficulties with this one, you guys. This far I've been so happy with every step I've taken, but now for the first time I'm really starting to doubt myself, and you know, I'm not sure if I like this sweater anymore, which isn't a great feeling to have. But here's what it looks like right now. So I can't remember exactly where we left off last time, but I don't think I've made a huge amount of progress since then, partly because like I said, I don't know, I've not been feeling it. I don't know if I like it that much. I'm kind of regretting putting this cable here along the arm. I'm half wishing I would have stuck with the ribbing that I planned to do. And I started with the ribbing, but then I switched to this cable. And I don't know, it looks a bit funky. And I don't know why I picked the seed stitch, or I mean, I had an idea that it would be nice to have the seed stitch here for the button band, but I don't like it. It would be nice to have something a bit more classic, I suppose. And the sleeves. I have struggled with the sleeves. So this is the first sleeve. I think I talked... no, I don't remember. This was the first sleeve I made, and it looks very weird, like almost like a pipe just sticking out from the body section. So I didn't do any shaping or anything, and I picked up not enough stitches for it to look nice, so, and feel nice. It's very tight on the underarm here, so that didn't work. So I left that part, and I picked up on the other sleeve instead to try out something different, and that's not this. I have ripped it back, because at first I picked up a lot of stitches, like too many, almost twice as many as on this side, just to see like how many, just to get an idea of how many would be a good idea. And yeah, it was too much. It would be too bulky under the arm. And I did some short rows on that sleeve, but not enough. So it was not... yeah, it wasn't enough shaped, I guess you can say. So this is the third try of the sleeve. And I think you can see that I did some short rows, like it's a bit shaped up here for the sleeve, for the shoulder. And it's a bit more stitches than on this side. Maybe, I don't know if you can see that. You just have to take my word for it. And I started to do some decreases here where I put the stitch markers, because I think still this could be like too many stitches, like it's a bit too big maybe. So now I'm just gonna keep going so I can try it on, because otherwise the fit is okay. It's a bit snug on the body, but I think that's okay. Like it's not I don't know, I'm hoping it'll be better when I block it. Like I don't want it to be slim on my body. Right now it's sort of perfect, like 0 or maybe a few centimeters of positive ease, I would estimate. And I don't want much more than that. But still, it's a thick sweater, so I want to be able to wear something underneath, and maybe even something with a long sleeve underneath. And yeah, I'm hoping it will grow so that it's easily 5 centimeters of positive ease, between 5 and 10. But that's, I mean, that I'm not too concerned about that because I don't want it to be super oversized. So it'll probably be fine. And the sleeve, I just need to keep on knitting and see how it fits. But I don't know, the whole thing is a bit, I don't know, I can't really, I don't have a vision for what it's gonna look like, and that worries me a little bit, because it feels like I'm not gonna be happy with the fit and like the overall look of it. I don't know, say something nice to me in the comments about it, because I'm feeling a bit self-conscious about it. But it's quite nice to, it's fun to knit. I mean, I think the gauge is quite tight to be let loppy. I didn't think about it before when I cast on. At least I don't remember thinking about it. But now, I mean, I'm using 4mm needles, and on let loppy that's not, I mean, I could easily use 5mm needles or 5.5, and I think the fabric would be very nice. So it's quite dense now, but I think that just makes it more durable, doesn't it? So it's a bit like strenuous on the hands sometimes, and especially with the cable section, but I'm now sort of, I thought this morning that I had memorized how to, I mean, this cable section part, but then I did a mistake. So, but I have almost memorized it, so I'm getting there. Yeah, not much more to say about it now. Hopefully next time I have enough of the sleeve or the sleeves to actually see, you know, what it's gonna look like. And then I'm probably gonna hate it and rip it all back. Great. One more thing, and that's my cable cardigan, and this one is so much fun to knit. I'm really enjoying it. I have to follow the chart, but that's okay. But the yarn is, oh, it's so nice. So you may remember I'm using this yarn. This is for my partner who has requested a cabled cardigan in brown, and I found this really nice reddish brown from Rauma, and this is their thicker yarn. I think it's worsted weight 50 grams, 108 meter, so it's quite thick, just because I wanted it to be a quicker knit, make it easy for myself. So this is what we, oh, I almost showed it the wrong side, showed you the wrong side. This is how far I've come. So this is the front panel, the right side. I'm knitting this in pieces, and then I'm gonna seam it together, which is something I've never done before. I know a lot of people don't like it because it's a very like old way of knitting sweaters, but I don't know, obviously I haven't gotten to the seaming part yet, so I may change my mind, but for the moment I'm quite excited about it. And so this is gonna be here on the right side, and the modification I've made so far is that I've made the bottom band a bit wider than what the pattern calls for. It's a free pattern, but it's only, I've only found it available in Swedish. Originally it's a Finnish pattern, and yeah, you can see it's got this nice cable here in the middle, and then some smaller cables, and then this ribbing. I think it's like 4 knit stitches and 1 purl stitches or something. So a little bit of progress at least. Yeah, not much more to say about it. It's quite I mean, compared to the Letlopi, where the fabric was so dense, this is a lot more airy and light. Almost to the point where I was starting to worry, because I mean, if I put it in front of me, I can see almost through it, or I definitely can see through it, and I can see sort of light coming through. But when I put it on, like on my skin or on some other fabric, I can't see through it. So I hope it will be okay. Yeah, that's it. Okay, let's oh, and I can say also that for this section I've used up 1 ball of yarn, so 50 grams. This is basically what I have left of the ball that I'm working on now. So we'll see. Hopefully, yeah, I bought 15 balls of yarn, so I'm gonna have to make that work. We'll see if that's too much or too little. I have no idea, because the pattern also calls for a bit. It calls for a thicker yarn than what I'm using, so I went up a size instead. I don't know. I haven't measured or anything. So I'm actually gonna stop there. I plan to talk about my socks, my sock designs today, but I don't have the time. I thought I would have the time, but now I need to shower and eat, and then I'm going away to my choir practice, in fact. So I'm gonna have to postpone maybe until maybe to the next podcast, or if I do like a bonus episode, perhaps, just to talk about the socks. That would be quite fun, actually. I think I will have a lot to say, so I don't want to force it and feel like I'm missing something. I want to give my socks the attention they deserve. So let's keep this a short one. I hope you enjoyed anyway, and I'll be back. Don't you worry about that. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.